Uncensored, no holds barred talk. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is the Global Reality Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live edition of the Global Reality right here on the Global Reality Radio Network. I'm your host, Josh Reeves. Thanks for being with us here tonight for another late night Moonbat edition of the broadcast. Ka-ka, put out the call, put out the light. Let everybody know that the Moonbats have come out to play. Thanks so much for being with us here tonight, 28th and the 29th, Thursday into Friday of July 2011. So glad you could join us. We're going to be getting into a few news stories here tonight for you, and then we're going to continue in our series of reading. And we haven't done this in several broadcasts, but tonight we just had other stuff we've been talking about. Tonight we're going to be getting into page 187 in the Lost Book of Enki, and we hope you all will stay up with us tonight, and hope you will enjoy the broadcast here. We love to have emails from you tonight as well. We always get really good emails. Last night we had a ton. Just kind of piled up over the course of several days. So, Global Reality Show at gmail.com. That's Global Reality Show at gmail.com. If you want to send in an email for me to read on the air, and if you have a question or a comment or anything else, please feel free to read it. If you ever have anything that you don't want me to read on air, please indicate that in the email, Global Reality Show at gmail.com. My website where this broadcast originates from is, of course, theglobalreality.com. That's theglobalreality.com. There we have the listen live links for the show where you can find the stream. If you're listening now, you already know that. But if you're listening on an archive or YouTube video later, you may not know that. And those of you who have had people send me emails a lot saying, can you make a lower quality stream? Can you make a lower quality archive? And when I started the network back in December of 2009, that was one of the things, the sort of the model that I was doing. And I know that it doesn't help me, and I could lose listenership because of that. I was aware of that when I started the network. But sort of the model of what I was trying to do with the network when I started it in December of 2009 was to totally change the rules. Most of the time, these type of talk radio shows, sometimes they're 16K, a lot of times for the free stream, sometimes 32K, 64K sometimes. But why does that keep happening? You guys hear that? That happened to me last week. Like, I'll be sitting here talking, and all of a sudden something goes wonky in my on my microphone. It just sounds like I lose presence or something. You guys hear that? I don't know what that is. What's causing that? It's driving me crazy, though. Let me mess with this here. Second time that's happened, it's like it's losing beefiness or something. I don't know. It'll be fine, and then all of a sudden something sounds wonky. It loses its beef. I don't know. I mean, it could be anything. Who knows? It's strange, though. Let's see if I can mess with this. Because, I didn't touch anything, literally. I'm just sitting here talking, and in the middle of this, it starts, it just goes, it goes limp. It just sounds weak. I don't know. Bizarre. That drives me crazy. Let me try and plug this in on a different channel. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. No? Oh, there we go. Let's try that. Now that sounds all crackly and weird, and probably all EQ'd weird. Sorry about this live experimentation on the air, but it's just strange. I was sitting there talking, all of a sudden it just goes some weird sound. Let's see here. I don't know, I guess it just sounds weak too. I don't know what's happening. I probably need to go back. I probably just need to replace every cable I've got in here for these microphones. I think I've been using the same ones for years. They might be getting old. I don't know. It's weird. It's happened sometimes in the middle of a show like that. It's driving me crazy now. Huh. That is too weird. Now everything's sounding even stranger. Right, let's try that. See, now it sounds like it. There we go. But something's crackling. I don't know, it could be, but that is better. Now it sounds kind of back to normal again. We'll see what happens here. We'll go with it. Oh, crazy. You can't ever rely on this stuff. You know, I most of this gear and stuff that I use for the radio show, I guess it's getting on up there. I bought this stuff way before I ever did radio. I was working in a sandwich shop, and I was an assistant manager. I was making pretty good money, and I had the money to buy this gear, and so I bought some studio gear at the time because I knew later on I probably wouldn't have the money to buy it, but I'd have a use for it. And lo and behold, when I started the radio show in 2007. I already had all the stuff for, already had microphones and a compressor and stuff like that. So it made it a lot easier to get going without having to put a lot of money up front. But I have sort of, when I look at it, I have sort of been using the same stuff here because I'm just one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of guys. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't, it was there for a while. Every other year I was getting a new computer because they were dying on me. And I wasn't, doing anything to cause that. I guess I just wasn't buying, I was building them myself and stuff like that, but I've had this computer since 2008 and it's getting antiquated. And I just, it's hard to get rid of something when it's working okay. But last couple of shows we've done here, there's been some weird wonky stuff going on with the microphone. So I apologize for that. And we're going to have a show nonetheless here. It sounds better now. I know something readjusted itself. It's just one of those strange phenomena. Ghost in the machine. I guess, as there always is. But also at my website, theglobalreality.com, we have the chat room, and boy, it's getting Moonbatty in there tonight. Go in there and say hi and have a conversation with people hanging out in the Global Reality chat room tonight. I have a friend who's a listener of the broadcast. He's several times in the course of making the new film, he's made me challenges, and I've done my best to keep those challenges up, which to the best of my ability. We have I lost 2 family members back in May, and it really set me back, as far as time, and he was gracious enough to allow me to have more time to get it done because of the time off I had for doing all that, and he's presented me with a new challenge. And tonight, I'd like to announce we are gonna have the Secret Ride Volume 2 is going to be released in August, for sure. I mean, it's a go for launch, and we're gonna have that out. I don't know exactly when, probably sometime in the middle of August, second or third week, somewhere in that target range. But we will have that, and also going to be working on having a sort of a sneak preview type thing once it's done for all the people who have, who've been in the chat room for a long time and people who've donated and stuff like that. And so we'll probably end up having that. It'll probably be like a private Justin TV type thing. We'll have a screening once it's done. And I'm also going to try and release maybe like one section of the film or something before it's fully released, before there's a screening or anything like that. So probably in the next couple of weeks, let's say in the next 2 weeks, look for a sneak preview to be a clip to be released, a portion of the film. We'll put that up on YouTube, and then a week or so after that, or a week or two after that, we'll have full bore release. And I plan on trying to do a digital. All the people that pre-ordered DVDs, you're going to get the DVDs, and you're also going to get sort of a special package with some other stuff in there, extra goodies and things of that nature. So that'll be coming. And the regular DVDs, I don't know if we're gonna how many we're gonna do. It's gonna pertain on how much funding we have. But we may just do the pre-order DVDs, and that may be it, or we may do a wider release. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But anyway, thank you so much to our motivator and donator there for making a donation, helping us get the bills paid for the month. You know who you are, and thank you so much for presenting that challenge too there. It's great stuff from Monochromo there in the chat room. So good stuff, and so we'll be looking forward to getting that out. I'm ready to be done, ready to have it out, and I'm ready for you to see it. And it's gonna be I hope to also may be employing some of the use of Lee Iovino. He threw together some video last night for my audio clip for the new mini film that I had done about the whole debacle that happened over the week, the shooting and Amy Winehouse, all that stuff. If you hadn't seen that new mini film of mine, it's about 31 minutes. It's out now. It's up on my website, theglobalreality.com, under the video section. And please get that out there, because I think it's important information that everybody needs to see and understand this. I've noticed that a lot of people have kind of taken my cue. A lot of the videos and stuff have been popping up with people kind of saying the similar stuff that I said in there. That's good. That's good to see that. It's good to see that other people are seeing all this stuff for what it truly is now, you know. And I think it's great that a lot of people have took my cue on that, said, you know, because I got emails from listeners too when I was researching this stuff, and listeners were sending me emails saying, hey man, you know, this and this and this, and I was saying, yeah, I know, I'm working on it, you know. So I didn't do shows Monday and Tuesday. I was working on putting all this stuff together. It was fucking blowing my mind. And so yeah, it's just cool that it's sort of, you know, it's already spreading. And I think it's had, I don't know, the one that was just audio had 300 or 400 hits. I took it down. I apologize to those people that embedded or put it on their websites, just the audio version. I took that down because the video version that Lee Alvino made for me was just superior to it with a video. And so he threw that together very quickly. Man, that would have took me fucking days over here with my old first generation quad core from 2008. Man, that would have took me a good long time. He got that done rather quickly. So I may be trying to use him some more in the future to do some video stuff for some of the films. I just think he just does such a fantastic job doing video editing. And we got some of his. I think we got some of his stuff in my films. We could start doing some fucking damage to Jonesy. I mean, some of the stuff he's doing looks as good as graphics wise and all that stuff is the stuff Jonesy does. That's the stuff that I really, you know, need help with, graphics. And, you know, if you can use like Adobe After Effects for video and stuff like that, people who can do that, shit. That's really all you need. But yeah, I appreciate everybody that, you know, does stuff like that and tries to throw in what they can as far as, you know, we have people that donate monetarily and support us financially. And we thank those people and love those people for what they do. But we also have people who deserve credit that don't donate financially oftentimes, but they do stuff where they say, hey, you know, I've got this skill, I can do graphics. Boom. You know, we had a guy do that, and he designed our website design for us. We have Man Hydra, who does all our webmastering stuff here and gets all the stuff posted for you on the website, all the news articles and all the archives and stuff. Boom. Same thing, you know. He had a skill, he can do it, so he offered that up. And also with Lee Iovino, as well as he just, you know, he sent me, this is probably a year or so ago, he sent me a message saying, you know, if you ever need help with anything, let me know. And I'm one of those type of people that, you know, if you say that to me, I may not ask you to do something right that second or right that day or week or month or year or anything, but I do remember those type of things, you know. And I hadn't forgotten about when he had told me that, and I sent him a message, you know, just saying, hey man, you know, you offered, you think you can do something? He said absolutely, and got it done. And I was very pleased with the results. So maybe that could be a good partnership, you know. I mean, maybe able to help me, because I mean, basically what takes a long time is, if you notice, the audio clips, the vocal stuff where I'm talking, the way I do that is that's a really intensive process for me, because That's a lot of that's where a lot of my editing goes from. I prefer to do my films like that, where I go and I'll do, I'll just lay out the information, then I'll cut and paste stuff and cut things together and different things like that. And he did a real good job of taking what I had cut with the vocal stuff there, the voiceover stuff, and really putting video to it, making it look the proper way. So yeah, that's kind of exciting because there's tons of films that I have ideas for and tons of things that I have. I mean, I've got enough info to make 5 films right now. You know, like I said, it's just, you know, nickel and dime and a little bit here, a little bit there. I said having one big lump sum for a budget for a film is why these films take so long. You know, when a Hollywood producer is making a film, or, you know, a professional movie person is making a film, when they have a budget for a film, they get one lump sum. That, you know, it's a budget. Okay, you're getting $10 million to make this film. Okay, boom, there's $10 million. There's your budget. Can't go over budget. That's how much you get. Boom, make the film. But with me, it's, you know, it's $100 here, $200 there, $1,000 here, $500 there, spread out over the course of 2 years. And so, you know, that's why it takes so long to make the films, because you're not working with a lump sum of backing to make the film. And that's it's very trying, but luckily we have listeners that help us out, and you know, right now it's the only way we can do it. But I think maybe if I start doing some stuff with Lee, we could, with his editing skills, we may be able to start knocking stuff out of the park a lot faster, because I can just sit over here and rattle information off left and right. You know, I can sit over and just record audio voiceovers of me talking information and laying out the stuff I know. I can do that all night long. And if you got somebody with his editing skill that can, you know, what amazed me too is how fast he found the footage and downloaded it. I mean, all that stuff takes time. You know, he found the footage, downloaded it, got, you know, encoded it, had re-encoded maybe where he needed to. Those are little things I know from my experience. What I have to do, they take time. You know, you have to go get photos and you have to download those and you have to get them in the video and seam them up and sync it up with your voice. I mean, it takes very time intensive, very labor intensive on your computer. And so that's like I said, that's when I noticed that he had real talent at doing that, because stuff that really takes you a while, he was just doing it very quickly. Let's see, I don't think we have any let's see here. I want to go back to what I was saying earlier before the microphone took a shit. People have always asked me if we could have a lower quality stream. And when I started the network, I wanted to make sure that we had a high quality audio, no commercials. That's another reason why we don't have commercials, why we ask for donations and when we have theirs, because I refuse to run commercials. I'm not going to try to sell you, you know, gold or dick pills or water filters or, you know, bug out bunker shit or whatever have you, that greasy fucking, you know, snake oil bullshit that they tell you is the only way you can run a network. They told me, people who are well known, I'm not going to name names, people who are well known, people who run radio networks and have run radio networks in the past that have gone under and stuff like that, told me that you absolutely cannot run a network without selling at minimum gold. At maximum, you know, everything from dick pills and water filters and all this other stuff. And with your help now, we're going on 2 years of proving that absolutely wrong. You know, so that's and putting out good information to boot. That's a big thing, and that's really the most important thing. So we have people who put the shows up on YouTube. Generally, you can get those in low quality, but I'm not going to offer. I'm just not going to offer low quality stuff. I don't want my stuff out there in low quality, honestly. I don't know, you know, I'm pretty open source with what people do with my stuff. You know, people often take my videos and upload my videos to their channels and get more hits on their videos than I get on my own channel I don't know how, but it happens all the time. People, Lee Ivino actually made a video from a clip. I was talking about that super weapon thing. And he made a clip and put it on his channel that was a clip from my show he talking about, and he had footage from like the Fifth Element in there. That motherfucker got more hits than most of my videos get. And yet it was, you know, based around my material. So I'm pretty open source when it comes to things. But what I don't like, and what I will ask people to take down if it's I find it, not to my liking, is downgrading the quality of my stuff. If you're going to downcode my stuff to 16K and put it out there, I'm probably going to ask you to take it down, because I don't like that. I've never liked that low grade, AM radio sound and stuff. Some people think that that's what makes you sound, legit. I just don't agree with that. But let's see what we have here. We have any emails since last night? We had a bunch of good ones last night, really good ones. Sorry, I'm going through my stack here. Oh, the guy Tim, who sent a message last night, says, hey, Josh, just listen to your latest show. Great as always. Thanks so much for reading my email. You validated the thoughts of a lonely moonbat in bumfuck Minnesota. What's going on in Minnesota? We've been getting I swear to God, it's like the third person that's contacted me recently has been from Minnesota. What is going on in Minnesota, eh? What is going on up there, you guys? I just don't know. I mean, wow. All these Minnesota listeners coming out of the side hatch. Oh, he sent me the lyrics to his shape-shifting reptilian song. Yeah, this is classic. That's good stuff, man. Let's see. This one says, hi, Josh. I heard you on Red Ice. I was very impressed with your info. You are excellent at cutting through the layers and deception and BS. Thank you very much. I don't see why you don't charge a modest monthly fee for access to your radio shows, movies, etc. You are good enough to warrant it. Well, thank you. I would personally prefer to automatically pay a reasonable fee and would also select out the bullshitters. I think that would reduce the number of people who will be playing you. You should not have to worry about having money to eat. Charge a modest monthly membership fee. Regards, Gord. Well, yeah, I've thought about that, but I did something I want to work on in the future is, creating something like a member section thing where we can have where people get, exclusive stuff. I think Lee actually sent me a message about something like that too, about doing maybe like a weekly video report that he would help me edit together that would be, members only or something like that. Yeah, we're definitely going to be working on stuff like that. So thanks for the suggestion there. Not really any more emails here tonight to speak of, but globalrealityshow@gmail.com if you want to send one in tonight. We're going to get into the news tonight. We were talking about this in the chat room earlier. I don't know if you guys seen this newest crop circle that popped up. Obviously, this was done with a board. I don't think this was done by aliens, unless, of course, it's a sign that the alien invasion is imminent and they've come to take all of our marijuana. It's an alien with like bubbles behind his head and he's smoking a fucking Sherlock pipe, looking like he's high as hell. So I think potheads and alien conspiracy theorists around the world are taking this as a sign that the aliens invasion is imminent and they are coming to take all of our marijuana. Because apparently they get nothing but swag on their planet. So I don't know. One of our listeners sent me that. I was just like, oh, really? That's rather funny. That'd probably figure, wouldn't it? We've come for your marijuana. You take it. Shit, it's not legal anyway. Fuck. Leave us alone. It's GMO, fucking Monsanto. Give them to here. Yeah. That's our ace in the hole. We'll just give all the aliens the GMO Monsanto weed and, oh yeah, here you go. Fuck, you can have as much as you want of this shit. Here, take it. Yeah, it's real good. Take it. Yeah. Here, take that shit. Take it back to Zeta Reticuli. Smoke that shit with your homies. It'll change your DNA. I mean, it'll fucking get you high so high that you'll smell your DNA. Yeah, no. Because that's what they're moving towards now is this GMO all the way across the board stuff. Let's see what we have here on the menu tonight. Seems that we have another case of white Al-Qaeda. They're pushing this, right on the heels of the Norway thing. We've got, we knew this was coming. They're going to be pushing this idea of white Al-Qaeda. This is a guy who, this is a total operation. You can tell. You just about looking at this guy. He looks like a, cornbread fucking, classic jarhead Marine. And his name is apparently Nasser Abdo, which, sounds like a fucking Muslim name or something. But then look at this guy. He's white. They're saying this guy is a Muslim and that he's apparently white cracker Al-Qaeda. And we knew white cracker Al-Qaeda was going to be coming around the corner real soon. Now they're talking about, I saw on the news today, I don't know if I've got this in my stack, but there was, there was an article I saw. Let me see if I've got it here. I don't have it in my stack. I think it was on my other computer. I was looking at it, but it was, I'm not even kidding you. It was Al-Qaeda 2.0. Literally, Al-Qaeda 2.0 is right around the corner. An AWOL infantry soldier caught with weapons and a bomb inside a backpack admitted planning what would have been Fort Hood's second terrorist attack in less than 2 years, the Army said Thursday. He might have succeeded at carrying it out. Police said if a gun store clerk hadn't alerted him to the man's suspicious activity. We would probably be here today giving you a different briefing had he not been stopped, Killeen Police Chief Dennis Baldwin said, calling the plan a terror plot. The 21-year-old suspect, Private First Class Nasir Abdo, was arrested Wednesday at a motel about 3 miles from Fort Hood's main gate. He had spoken out about the 2009 Fort Hood shootings last year as he made a public plea to be granted conscientious objector status to avoid serving in Iraq or Afghanistan. Like the soldier charged with killing 13 people in the shootings, Abdo is Muslim, but he said in an essay obtained by the Associated Press that attacks ran against his beliefs and were an act of aggression by a man and not Islam. Abdo was approved as a conscientious objector this year, but that status was put on hold after he was charged with possessing child pornography. He went absent without leave from Fort Campbell, Kentucky, during July 4th weekend. On July 3rd, he tried to purchase a gun at a store near the Kentucky Post, according to the company that owns the store. Abdo told an Associated Press reporter a week later that he was concerned about his safety and had considered purchasing a gun for protection, but had not done so yet. I mean, they either set this guy up or, that's what this sounds like. This is my goodness. Ramping up here at home. See, white Al-Qaeda, this is the new threat. People aren't buying the phony Muslim threat anymore, so they're going to start, again, creating white Al-Qaeda, cracker Al-Qaeda. You guys, thought I was joking about that a year or two ago. I started saying cracker Al-Qaeda and white Al-Qaeda was going to be the next threat, and I'm being serious. These are people that they've radicalized and for years, just like they radicalized the Muslims for years. They get them to believe that, they're fighting for the Constitution, they're fighting for this or that. It's unbelievable. We're starting to see this now. Cracker Al-Qaeda is here. And this guy was originally from right in my backyard, Garland, Texas. I was born in Garland. That's crazy. Lots of lots of technology news, and there's just been a rash of new technology news. Tons and tons of space news. I'm wondering what's going on with all this space news. We'll definitely get into some of that. Oh, this is classic. Most people in the research community are aware of the fact that Iran's Revolutionary Guard have been completely CIA and Mossad infiltrated for years and years and years, completely wholly owned, subsidiaries of the intelligence community. And, check this out. Iran Revolutionary Guard's commander set to become president of OPEC. Now, again, we're starting to see the chess pieces move around the chessboard in very interesting and cunning ways, aren't we? Because what is the big thing they're trying to do right now? They're trying to either A, do away with OPEC completely, which is what I think is ultimately going to happen, or B, change the fact that the dollar is the only currency that oil can be traded in with OPEC. And so now they've got, the Iran Revolutionary Guard in there, the controlled opposition to set this thing up. I mean, we've got to end OPEC, or we've got this Iranian in there, and he wants to get the dollar out of there. The chess pieces are making their move. By the way, I want to point something out. Somebody had posted or reposted my newest mini film on their channel, which, like I said before, I don't really mind people doing, but I would mind if you would kind of make sure when you repost it to your website, you make it apparent that it's my stuff and it's my work and it came from my website and that kind of thing, because sometimes people change the titles and stuff around. But I saw where somebody had posted on one of these videos that I was more of a what did he call me? More of a Jew plant than Alex Jones is. That's funny. They always call me a Jew, even though I'm not remotely Jewish. And because I didn't say that all the stuff that happened over the weekend was done by Mossad. And look, did I say that Mossad may not be involved? No, I didn't say that. But, if you look at the information, obviously this person that made this comment didn't even watch the film. And it seems they don't have the intelligence enough to know that, Mossad, whether Mossad was involved or not, is a fucking irrelevant. Who cares? Yeah, they probably were involved. But the idea of this massive ritual happening with Alex Jones completely covering it up and using a scapegoat for the blame is the real issue here. Not whether or not Mossad was involved in the shoes. Yeah, of course they probably were. We know it was an op. It had all the hallmarks of a Mossad operation. But again, that's one of the mechanisms of this greater power shirt. That's just the mechanism and the arm that they use to get the job done. It's like you're telling a story. So-and-so had sex with a woman. Yes, but he used a Trojan condom. Well, so what? What the fuck matter? What the fuck does it matter what brand he used? He got the job done. He used a condom. Who cares? Who cares what the fuck brand it was? Why do you got to throw that information in there? Same type of thing. But these clowns who run around and think that, and try, well, not even think, a lot of them are some of them are parrots and some of them actually are plants. But, they run around and they won't touch any of the stuff when it comes to that exposes the priest class. But they'll certainly blame everything on the Jews and the Zionists. Instantly, that's because the Jews and the whole Zionist thing, which is just a mechanism for the much larger power structure. They said, Zionist that. Well, yeah, sure, but the larger thing, that's just an extension of the larger power. Blaming it on the much smaller thing all the time to me is just it just shows that people are looking to misdirect you and what your beliefs are in where the true source of all this stuff is coming from. I mean, there's red herrings everywhere when you look at this stuff. This from Politico. TSA is readying a new behavior detection plan for airport checkpoints. They're going forward with this as early as next month, from what I understand. The federal government is planning to introduce new behavior detection techniques at airport checkpoints as soon as next month. Transportation Security Administration Chief John Pistoli said Thursday. TSA already has behavior detection officers at 161 airports nationwide looking for travelers exhibiting physiological or psychological signs that a traveler might be a terrorist. Pistoli said TSA is preparing to move an approach that employs more conversation with travelers, a method that has been employed with great success in Israel. I'm very much interested in expanding the behavior detection program, upgrading it, if you will, in a way that allows us to pause, have more interaction with a passenger just from a discussion, which may be able to expedite the physical screening aspects. Okay, so they're going to come up and play mind games with you, right? And if you don't answer their question in the left brain way they want you to, they're going to flag you as a possible terrorist. I mean, it's absolutely insane. Psychological tests and all this shit. I think this is systematically by design. I think they're trying to keep us all. I don't think they want us to go anywhere. I think that's what it is. I think they're afraid we're all going to start fleeing, and they're again, trying to turn us into a big roach motel. Easy to get into the United States, easy for immigrants to get here, very, very difficult to get out. And that should be a cause for concern for all of us, I think. Doesn't mean you have to shit yourself in fear and run around, oh, got in the bug out bunker now, like Alex Jones wants you to, but you can have concern for something without having fear of it. I always wonder why Alex Jones never told his listeners that. There's a good reason why he never told his listeners that. When your entire paycheck and your $1.5 million house with nanny quarters and, bills to your Bronfman Jewish banking empire lawyers. Yeah, that's true, by the way. That'll be in the new film. We got this guy dead to rights, y'all. I mean, his connection with Adana Khashoggi and GCN, I mean, it's off of the charts. There's no question this guy is a part of the power structure. But again, that's the main thing that everybody needs to understand out there is you can have concern about issues and things without having to run around and be scared and in a panic about them. And because when you're panicky and you're scared, you aren't thinking rationally. And this is exactly what they're counting on. They want us to not think rationally. They want us to act on our emotions, and emotions always ultimately end up leading to violence. And that's what they want. They want to prey on our low vibratory sense. We have to raise our vibrations to a higher plane and not succumb to those lower level things they want to get us into. Now, a lot of people are going to succumb to that, but that's why I think it's important that we try and get shows like mine and the message of mine out there to the people so that they can understand that, look, there's going to have to be some people that don't go that route. And you have to understand that this is exactly what they want. That's why Alex Jones peppers everything with fear, and it's all fear sells products. I don't think you should be scared of any of this. Why? Because it's all an illusion. We exist in an illusion. Our entire 5 sense 3-dimensional reality is an illusion. It's a construct. We are souls, pure energy, pure light that are being trapped and entrapped into these weak and fragile bodies and being told that this is all that's real. And it's not. It's a lie. And when you know that, you can go forward in your life and everything that it throws at you and never stop and never give up and continue, because you know that it's an illusion, and continuing on is the smarter move, not, suicide or any of this stuff. But a lot of people don't get to understand that. They don't get to understand that this is all an illusion. They believe that it's all real. And so when the phony reality becomes too much for them to bear, they want out of it. It's very important we don't allow ourselves to be manipulated yet again by our emotions. Because what happened on the day of 9/11, and I don't give a fuck who you were out there, and anybody that claims that the second one, 9/11, went down, we knew probably hours after. But every motherfucker on the face of this planet, as soon as those fucking towers got hit, wanted a Muslim's fucking head on their dinner platter. Every fucking one of us did. You did, I did. Every one of us was, kill those fucking Muslims. I want their fucking heads on a goddamn platter right now. Every one of us. Now, we certainly all didn't keep that standpoint, but there for a moment, we all felt that. Every single living American felt that. And so if even for a split second, if just for a moment, even if that wasn't maybe that still stuck around in some people, but not all people. But that's not the point. The point is that for a moment, they got us to all simultaneously feel the same emotion of hatred and revenge, and simultaneously, they manipulated us into that. That's powerful. When you can manipulate an entire country of people to have an emotional response to something in the exact same way, the way that you want them to, that's huge. We cannot allow ourselves to let that happen to us again, folks. To me, that's one of the bigger lessons of 9/11. We cannot allow ourselves to be goaded into that fear response again. That's what they want. That's what all of this crazy. That's why Jones and those types we keep you focusing on the economic stuff and where gold's at and all this other shit and geopolitics. And the elections. That's the stuff they're using to goad everybody into wanting an armed conflict. That's why there's a moratorium on talking about the deeper issues of things and exposing who's really in charge, the priest class, the people that control religions that also control the monetary systems. But, of course, Jones won't tell you that either because, he's in their pocket. That again, for me, that's where the fight is. That, it was when all of us sort of got involved in this, I think a lot of us just thought, well, we got to wake everybody else up. Now we got to get out there and we got to wake the people up. We got to wake everybody up. We got to make everybody see this. Well, as soon as I started talking about the CMP and I found all this stuff, I found out that my job was a lot harder than I thought it was. It's become a little easier because there's a lot more people who know about it now and are trying to do the same thing I am, which is great. But there for a while, I was the lone person. And I just, I remember just thinking, great. So not only do we have to wake up people to what's going on, we have to reawaken the people who initially woke up from people like Alex Jones and others and the rest, and then were put back to sleep by those people that did their initial waking up. It happened to me. It happened to a lot of you out there. That's still the task, we have to sort of unprogram those people. And believe me, man, I heard somebody say one time when I was an Alex Jones fan that, it was a cult and he brainwashed people. And boy, it's absolutely true. Because I was brainwashed by the guy. And when you're in it, you don't see it. When you're free from it, you're like, oh my goodness, yeah. It just becomes glaringly obvious. But that's what they build everything around. They build everything off of these cult of personalities. And it's the easiest thing that they have to rope people into something. And it's just amazing to watch. Let's see what else we have here on the news tonight. Until now, a tiny asteroid had secretly and silently run ahead of the Earth on the planet's stroll around the sun, but scientists have found that for the coming hundreds of years, we are certain not to only have the moon for company on the year-long journey. The discovery of this companion, known as Trojan 2010 TK7, we covered a similar story last night, which measures about 300 yards across, makes Earth the fourth planet in the solar system that is known to share its orbit with an asteroid. This could be one of the things that was, because, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't we read something at the beginning of the Lost Book of Enki? Or maybe in the middle of it, the part where it was talking about, because it talked about that they placed two things in orbit around the Earth, the moon and something else. You guys remember that? And I was going, well, what are they talking about here? Are they talking about, Tiamat? Are they talking about something that got blown up that's not there anymore? That's highly interesting. I mean, this could be what it was talking about. Was this asteroid that also orbited with around the Earth in the same way that the moon does? Because it definitely said that in that Lost Book of Enki that that there were two things, not one, placed there, and I was always just kind of like, wow, what is that? Wow, that's very interesting. It will never get closer than 50 times the distance the moon sits from us. Currently is about 50 million miles away and should come no closer than about 18 million miles. These objects are difficult to find from Earth simply because they're not very big and they're presently faint. They're close to the sun as seen from Earth, explained Christian Vallette from the Canada, France, Hawaii telescope and co-author of the Nature Study. But we find them in space. Future satellites are likely to find some more. And we think that these will be very close to Earth, and they have motions that make them relatively easy to reach. So they could be potential targets to go with the spacecraft, he told the BBC News. Experts say in order to imagine its path, people should picture Earth and the asteroid traveling around a clock face with the sun in the middle. Generally, the asteroid runs about 2 numbers ahead. However, the asteroid sometimes ranges so far ahead that it's on the opposite side of the sun from Earth, said Martin Connors of Canada's Athabasca University in Alberta. He reports the discovery in today's issue of the journal Nature. An asteroid of this type has previously only been detected around Jupiter, Neptune, and Mars. There are a few for Mars and Neptune and nearly 5,000 for Jupiter. Spotting one in Earth's orbit is difficult from the ground because the potential locations are generally in the daytime sky, yet Connors and colleagues were able to focus a ground-based telescope in Hawaii on it in April, determining its orbit with enough precision to show it was a Trojan. So there we go, near-Earth objects. This could be, this could be what they roll out for the, don't want to close my eyes, don't want to fall asleep because I miss you, baby, and I don't want to miss a thing. That's going to be the Armageddon scenario right there, isn't it? Oh, Steven Tyler's coming to tell you an asteroid's going to kill you. All right, I do cocaine. There's going to be some shit like that. Oh, man. It's getting crazy. I mean, listen to all this weird space news, man. Moist black hole home to largest and farthest water reservoir ever detected in the universe. 30 billion trillion miles away, looking into a quasar, one of the brightest and most violent objects in the cosmos. Researchers have found a mass of water vapor that's at least 140 trillion times that of all the water in the world's oceans combined and 100,000 times bigger than the sun. Now, that is absolutely... I'll put a picture of that. Put a picture of that for you in the chat room there. My goodness. Matt Bradford, a scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, said the environment around this quasar is unique and that it is producing this huge mass of water. Yeah, it looks like water's just spewing out of both sides of this thing. It's insane. I've never seen anything like that. It looks like, it's spiraling around. It looks like a big DNA spiral or something. That is just insane, man. It is another demonstration that water is pervasive throughout the universe, even at the very earliest times. A quasar is powered by an enormous black hole that is steadily consuming its surrounding disk of gas and dust. As it eats, the quasar spews out huge amounts of energy. 2 teams of astronomers, each led by scientists in the California Institute of Technology, studied a particular quasar, which harbors a black hole 20 billion times more massive than the sun. Since astronomers expected water vapor to be present even in the early universe, the discovery of water is not a surprise. There's water vapor in the Milky Way, although the total amount of it is 4,000 times less than in the quasar, as most of our galaxy's water is frozen. Nevertheless, water vapor is an important trace gas that reveals the nature of the quasar. In this particular quasar, the water vapor is distributed around the black hole in a gaseous region spanning hundreds of light years. Yeah, they're probably be wanting to go to this thing, or we can go there and mine water off this thing, bring back to Earth. Yeah, it's highly interesting though. You guys have heard, obviously you guys have heard about, the many UFO sightings that have happened around water. I think people like even Christopher Columbus claimed to see UFOs coming out of the water. And there's been a lot of rumors and theories about underwater portals. Because it's said that the reason why there's been so many different extraterrestrial races that have visited Earth, and so many people that have come here and tried to set themselves up as gods, has been because, and the reason Earth hasn't been destroyed as well, allegedly, is that inside the Earth there's these massive portal systems that allow you to jump great distances across various galaxies. And they allude to this in the movie They Live, which I think is highly interesting, the movie They Live, because, very indicative with, all the stuff with these aliens controlling the world and, the whole conspiracy is being controlled by these aliens, and you can only see them if you got the glasses on. And there's a part where Roddy Piper and Keith David are in. It's like a CMP meeting is what it looks like. It's like another. There's a bunch of good old boys. Hey, you boys in the club? All right. It's like an intergalactic subway system, man. They're like jumping in between there and stuff. But people have theorized that there's massive. Supposedly there's these massive portals in the Earth that allow you to jump great distances across galaxies. This is why we've been, a lot of UFOs have crashed here and been marooned here. All these different sightings, different types of species and stuff have visited. But I just wonder if maybe the race is on to sort of find these things now. Forget the space race. China dips into the deep sea dash by taking a manned sub 5,000 meters below the surface. Having only recently conquered space, it seems China is now turning its attention to the seas. As part of the country's deep sea exploration program, the manned Jialong underwater craft this week reached a staggering 5,057 meters below sea level in an international area of the Pacific Ocean. It comes more than 50 years since the fabled Treste dropped more than 10,000 meters into the bottom of Challenger Deep, the lowest point of the Pacific's Mariana Trench. And the Chinese mission has also pipped film director James Cameron, who wants to film scenes for the sequel to blockbuster Avatar from 7,000 meters below the surface to the post in plumbing the murky depths of the world's water. And I told people about this a year or so ago, and people were like, man, no way. Yeah. He literally wants to film Avatar 2 in the Mariana Trench. This guy is out of his fucking mind. Isn't that what CGI is for, Cameron? Why the fuck would you want to subject people to going 7,000? I mean, that's dangerous, man. You got to sit in a decompression tank for like a month afterwards so your blood can slowly come back up to the pressure. Fuck that, man. I think Cameron just wants to see like a real life Jaws or, so is a Leviathan or the Deep or the Abyss or any of those movies, I think because Cameron did the Abyss, I think he just wants to see a real life thing happen. I mean, every time you see one of those movies, what happens? Big sea creature comes out and fucks shit up, right? I think that's what he wants to do. I think he wants to send people down there so when they're filming, some big sea creature will come crashing through the goddamn thing while they're filming, and he'll be able to say, oh, look at this, the most realistic monsters ever yet caught in a movie. You know why? That shit's real. People really died, son. Cameron's out of his fucking mind. But yeah, they're going down there. They're trying to get down to the lowest depths of the ocean. Makes you wonder why. Makes me wonder if they're looking for something. Remember last week when we talked about this panel? They said we need to create a panel to make sure that that people don't start, so we can regulate animal-human hybrids. Not keep it from happening, but regulate it happening, implying it was already happening. I said, well, like I told you last week, I was like, yeah, that means it's already going on. We know it's already going on. Listen to this. Scientists have created more than 150 human-animal hybrid embryos in British laboratories. I guess we can close the books on that one. My God. The hybrids have been produced secretively over the past 3 years by researchers looking into possible cures for a wide range of diseases. The revelation comes just days after a committee of scientists warned of a nightmare Planet of the Apes scenario in which work on human-animal creations go too far. Last night, a campaigner against the excesses of medical research said he was disgusted that the scientists were dabbling in the grotesque. Yeah, that'd figure, wouldn't it? You goddamn you, dirty apes. It'd figure we'd go out like that. Let's see what else. There's an interesting article here. Scientists at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute have found that when just 10% of the population, this goes right back to what I was talking about earlier, how they got us all to, want a fucking Muslim's head on a platter, or even if just for a moment they got us all to simultaneously feel that emotion. Well, listen to this. Scientists have discovered that when just 10% of the population holds an unshakable belief, their belief will always be adopted by the majority of the society. Well, that's good news. That means we only have to have 10% of the population wake up to these priest-class fuckers that are running the show. Well, hell, that makes me feel better. I can deal with 10%. It was that whole 100% thing I was fucking sweating. The scientists who were members of the Social Cognitive Network's Academic Research Center at Rensselaer used computational and analytical methods to discover the tipping points where a minority belief becomes the majority opinion. The finding has implications for the study and influence of societal interactions ranging from the spread of innovations to the movement of political ideals. When the number of committed opinion holders is below 10%, there is no visible progress in the spread of ideas. It would literally take the amount of time comparable to the age of the universe for this size of group to reach the majority. Once that number grows above 10%, the idea spreads like a flame. As an example, the ongoing events in Tunisia and Egypt appear to exhibit a similar process. According to Szymanski, in those countries, dictators who were in power for decades were suddenly overthrown in just a few weeks. The findings were published in the July 22nd, 2011 early online edition of the journal Physical Review in an article titled Social Consensus of the Influence of Committed Minorities. An important aspect of the finding is that the percent of committed opinion holders required to shift majority opinion does not change significantly regardless of the type of network in which the opinion holders are working. In other words, the percentage of committed opinion holders required to influence a society remains at approximately 10%, regardless of how or where that opinion starts and where it spreads in society, regardless of where that opinion starts or spreads in society. See, that's the key thing. So they can start it and spread it, and they only have to get 10% before they can get it to be a belief. Now, I'm sure that this is one of the things that they've used with these massive supercomputer systems, AI supercomputer systems, to figure out. It sounds like an algorithm type thing. But why would they want to know this? They want to know this so they can see how effective they can spread their propaganda and how fast. But again, when they give us that information, we then can figure out how we can counter that. Let's not forget, we've got the numbers. There's more of us than it is of them. Well, it's time that we step forward and start putting our ideas and our beliefs based on research and facts out into the world and make that become the majority view, not this programmed cultural bullshit memes that everybody's brainwashed into. The time is now. New NASA data blows gaping hole in global warming alarmism. This is from Forbes. NASA satellite data from the years 2000 through 2011 show the Earth's atmosphere is allowing far more heat to be released into the space than alarmist computer models have predicted. Reports a new study in the peer-reviewed science journal Remote Sensing. The study indicates far less future global warming will occur than United Nations computer models have predicted. It supports prior studies indicating increases in atmospheric carbon dioxide trap far less heat than alarmists have claimed. Study co-author Dr. Roy Spencer, a principal research scientist at the University of Alabama in Huntsville and the U.S. science team leader for the Advanced Microwave Scanning Radiometer flying on NASA's Aqua satellite, reports that the real-world data from NASA's Terra satellite contradict multiple assumptions fed into alarmist computer models. Remember I told you about the two NASA computers that were going, satellites rather, that were going up there to monitor that stuff? And the first one went down and they were getting ready to launch a second one. I said, that one will never make it. It'll never make it off the ground. Because if it gets up there, they're going to start getting information on chemtrails, information on that blows holes in global warming. Well, guess what? It happened. There you go. I think it was last week we were talking about, the Democrats have been using all this end of the world terminology. Obama's been saying Armageddon. The revelations, the rapture, all this stuff. They've been using all these end of the world type of descriptive words on this whole, raising the debt ceiling thing and this whole financial thing that they're doing in all of these big budget talks they've been having. Over and over and over again, they've been using, Armageddon type of terminology. And what's interesting is that Nancy Pelosi today said that we're, quote, on the vote. What we're trying to do today is save the world from the Republican budget. What we're trying to do is save life on this planet as we know it today. What we're trying to do is save life on this planet as we know it today. Now, I'm going to put this out there. And this is one of those times when, you know, I like to discern the things that are fact from things that are my opinion or quote unquote theory. So this is just an opinion and a theory kind of wrapped into one here. It's not even really a theory. It's just kind of a what if. And I'm just going to say it because I've been thinking about this for a couple of weeks and I hadn't said it to anybody. So I need to say it to you now, especially after seeing this quote from Pelosi. We're trying to save life on this planet as we know it today. That sort of reinforced this thing I've been pondering for the past couple of weeks. I wonder if it's possible that this whole thing is a front. You know, the whole budget talks thing and all these people meeting and supposedly trying to fix the economy. You know, I wonder if it's something actually much bigger than that. And the front of this is, you know, the budget talks. I mean, could it be that, you know, they're privy to some information of some, you know, cataclysmic event? Earthquakes, hurricanes, floods, asteroid, Nibiru, who knows what? Could that be what all this Armageddon type of terminology has really been about, that they've been kind of letting slip and kind of seeing if anybody would pick up on it or not? I think it's a possibility. Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm positing the theory that it could be a possibility, and therefore, if it could be a possibility in any universe, it warrants putting out there. I mean, it could be possible this all is a front. They could know. So that could be why all this talk about all these asteroids and, new communication satellites supposedly trying to communicate with extraterrestrials. World's largest radio telescope has just now turned on in Chile. I mean, it really makes me wonder if because of all this terminology they're using, if this isn't a front for, them having these closed door discussions on how the fuck they're going to, either keep this from happening and also keep the public from finding out about it. I mean, I think that we're now as we're approaching 2012, if there was ever a time where we were going to see something like this happen, I think it would be now. So it's definitely something. To keep an eye on. Man, oh man, oh man! Interesting and more interesting every day it gets. Well, before we take a break, I want to end the news segment tonight on with sort of a lighter note, comedic news story. Light. This is so fucking hilarious. I had to cover this. Two women Bulgarian students find hidden cameras in their apartment. So a 22-year-old and a 23-year-old Bulgarian chicks who live together. And you got to see the picture of these chicks. I mean, look at this. And these two chicks live together, and they're wondering why somebody's put cameras in their fucking house. It ain't the NSA, baby. They're broadcasting that shit to a pay-per-view porn site every night when you're in the shower. Oh, my God. I mean, look at this. Sorry, am I the only one that thinks that's fucking funny? These two chicks, these two young chicks that live together, and they're going, oh, there's cameras around. Yeah, how could this happen? Dude, somebody's fucking putting that shit on the internet, son. Tiny cameras were hidden in smoke detectors and motion sensors placed in bedrooms and bathrooms of a West Hillsborough apartment. Yeah, always check your, I'm being serious, always check your smoke detectors. Especially if you rent and you can't account for that smoke detector being there. Hell, even if you don't rent. I know it sounds paranoid. I know it sounds moonbatty, but man, do yourself a favor every now and again. Check your smoke detectors out. Make sure there aren't cameras in them. It's one of their favorite places to put them. So, bear that in mind. Alrighty. I need to take a break. We've been going for over an hour now. And we're going to take a break, come back, get into The Lost Book of Enki tonight, page 187. And my website where this broadcast originates from is, of course, all right, back here with you on the Global Reality right here on the Global Reality Radio Network. I'm your host, Josh Reeves. Thanks for being with us here tonight. My website where this broadcast originates from is www.theglobalreality.com. www.theglobalreality.com. Up there at the website, we have, we also have, you can get copies of my first 2 documentary films, 9/11 New World Rising and The Secret Volume 1. Those are both personally autographed by me. Those are limited edition. I don't know that we're going to be printing those again. I was just looking in my stock tonight. We have very few left. Very few left. Running down to about, I don't know, probably about 5 copies of each of those left. So, and I don't know. We may do a rerun on Secret Volume 1. I know we may not. So if you kind of a last call type of thing, if you've never gotten hard copies of my films and you want hard copies of them, go to the website, theglobalreality.com. Underneath the documentary film sections, under each one of the films there, you can you just click on where it says 9/11 New World Rising or Secret Volume 1, and go there and you can order those. And in fact, we had somebody buy 2 last week, and I checked the stock. I was like, oh, yeah, we're running low. So those are, I think that's how I'm going to do it now. Once those are gone, that's going to be it. That's going to be no more copies of those left. So there you go. We're going to pick up tonight, page 187 of The Lost Book of Enki. Again, please donate to our work at theglobalreality.com. We have my webmaster Man Hydrant suggests that we go and maybe start not using the chip-in banner anymore, because sometimes it puts up a false thing that we've got, what we need when we don't, and we just go to the donate button. I don't know, but either way, right now, the donate button is there if you want to donate to what we're doing and to help us push forward. Thanks to everybody out there who has gotten us through again this month. Thank you so much. You can do that, and we don't have commercials. We don't have any try to sell you anything, and that's how we do it. Is by the kind support of our listeners, and helps us be able to make films and continue on. So there you go. I'm going to pick up a little bit back from where we left off, just a couple of sentences from where we left off last time. In all, 30 sons and daughters Adapa and TT had. Of them, tillers of the lands and shepherds for the Anunnaki to lead. By them, satiation came to the Anunnaki and the civilized earthlings, meaning they had food and water and things to survive again. In the 97th Shar, to Sati, a son by his spouse Azura was born. By the name Enki, in the annals he was recorded. Master of humanity meant his name. By Adapa, his father, writing and numbers he was made to understand. And who the Anunnaki were and all about Nibiru, Enki was told by Adapa. To Nibiru Ki, the sons of Enlil, he was taken. They taught him the secrets of the Anunnaki. How the perfumed oils for anointing Nanar, Enlil on earth the eldest, showed him. How the elixir from the Inbu fruits were to be prepared, Ishkur, Enlil's youngest, instructed him. It was since then that by civilized man, the Anunnaki were called lords. Under the rites of worship of the Anunnaki, that was the beginning. Thereafter, Enki to his sister Nome was born. See, right there, they tell you they're setting themselves up to be worshipped. They come right out and admit that. No hiding of that. Certainly, whoever the Anunnaki were, they wanted to be gods to period, to somebody. They set themselves up as gods. There's just no question. For by Nibiru in Bad Tibiara he was tutored. He learned of the furnace and kiln there. With bitumens, how to make fire, how to smelt and refine, he was taught. And the smelting and refining of gold for Nibiru, he and his offsprings toiled. In the 98th Shar, this matter of record came about. Now, this is the account of the generations of Adapa after Cain was exiled, and the heavenly journey of Enkim and the death of Adapa. Adapa being the, first proto-human, essentially. In the 99th Shar, to Cunan, a son was born. By Mu'alit, his half-sister Cunan, he was conceived. Malalu, he who plays, she named him. In music and song he excelled. For him, Ninurta, a stringed harp was made. A flute for him he shaped. Hymns to Ninurta Malalu played. And with his daughters, Ninurta sang to them. The spouse of Malalu, the daughter of his father's brother was. Dunna was her name. In the 100th Shar, since the count on earth had begun, a son to Malalu and Dunna was born. He was their firstborn. Irid, he of the sweet waters, his mother Dunna named him. Him Demuzi had taught how to dig wells and how to provide water for the flocks in the distant meadows. It was there by the wells and the meadows that the shepherds and maidens gathered, where espousing and proliferation by civilized mankind exceedingly abounded. They started to have a civilization, what we come to know as Samaria. In his days, the Agigi on earth were more frequently coming. To observe and see from the heavens, they increasingly abandoned. They wanted to be down at the ground level. This is what they refer to as the time in which gods lived on earth. We hear about that in ancient mythologies and religion and everything else, but they very rarely tell you what they're really talking about. To watch and to see what on earth was transpiring, they increasingly desired. To be with them on Lamu, Enki and Marduk beseeched. To watch and see what was transpiring on earth, Marduk more fervently wished. At a well in the meadows, he met his spouse Irid. Baraka was her name. The daughter of his mother's brother she was. At the conclusion of the 102nd Shar, a son was born to them by the name Enki-Me. By Enki-Me, understanding in the annals he was called. Wise and intelligent he was. Numbers he quickly understood. About the heavens and all matters celestial he was constantly curious. To him the Lord Enki took a liking. Secrets once revealed to the Adapa he told him. Of the family of the sun and the 12 celestial gods, Enki taught him. And how the months by the moon were counted and the years by the sun. And how by Nibiru the Shars were counted and how the counts by Enki were combined. How the Lord Enki the circle of the heavens into 12 parts divided. A constellation to one Enki assigned. 12 stations in a grand circle he arranged. How to honor the 12 Anunnaki great leaders by names and the stations that they were called. To explore the heavens, Enkim was eager. 2 celestial journeys he made. And now this is the account of Enkim's journey to the heavens, and how the Agigi troubles and intermarriages by Marduk were started. To be with Marduk in the landing place, Enkim was sent. From there, Marduk took him in a rocket ship to the moon. There, what Marduk from his father Enki had learned, Enkim talked to him. When Enkim returned to earth to be with Utu in Sapar, the place of the chariots, he was sent. There was a tablet for writing and learning, and Enkim was given. Utu, in his bright abode, a prince of earthlings, he installed. The rites to him he taught. The functions of priesthood to begin. Aha! Here we go. The rites to him he taught, the functions of priesthood. This is where, because again, this is historical fact, admitted fact, that in ancient Samaria, the priesthood was the government. And it was a knowledge that they had of the gods that they kept restricted from the people that gave them power, and that continues to this day. But right here we see an admission that rights and the functions of the priesthood were brought to earth by the Anunnaki. This explains why these bloodline people like Phyllis Schlafly, blue blood on both sides of her family. Philip, she's a Stewart bloodline and Bruce bloodline. DuPonts, Rothschilds, all these guys in the Council for National Policy. This is why these phony gatekeepers of the CMP don't want you looking into this information and will many times tell you it's a distraction and not to look into that. No, it's disinfo and blah, 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 blah. Because if you ever pull back the curtain and find out really who's behind all this, the priest class, well, that fingers them to a T for being the gatekeepers and trying to get you to not look into this. I've known this for a long time, but bam, there you go. The functions of the priesthood and the rights were brought down from somewhere else and installed here. It is an artificial construct that has been installed upon us. It still blows my mind that people can't see where the real power on the planet comes from, and this is why. Because the priesthood were the ones that were given the true secrets and had the true knowledge. That was a double-edged sword that could be used either for the enslavement of mankind or for the freeing of mankind. They chose to enslave us. But that's why we're here, to get this information out, to put out the information out there that won't allow us to be slaves anymore. That's our job. That's what we're trying to do. In Sippar, with his spouse, Edeni, a half-sister, Inkaim resided. To them, in the 104th Shar, a son was born. Matshual, his mother named him, who by the bright waters was raised, meant his name. It was after that Inkaim, on his second journey, was sent to the heavens. This time, too, Marduk was his mentor and companion. In a celestial chariot, they soared heavenward. Toward the sun and away from it, they circled. To visit the Agigi on Mars, he was taken by Marduk. He took a liking of the Agigi, and from him they learned about the civilized earthlings. Of him it is said in the annals that to the heavens he departed, that in the heavens he stayed until the end of his days. Before Inkaim for the heavens departed, all that was in the heavens he was taught. In the writings, Inkaim made a record for his sons to know that he wrote it. All that is in the heavens in the family of the sun he wrote down, and about the quarters of the earth and its lands and its rivers too. In the hands of Madashal, his firstborn son, he entrusted the writings. With his brothers Regem and Gadad, Gaidad, whatever you want to say, Gaidad, to study and abide by, Gai, to 104th Shar. In the 104th Shar, a son was born to Madashal. To the Agigi troubles and what Marduk had done, he was a witness. By his spouse Ednat, a son to Madashal was born. Lumak, mighty man, was his name. In his days, conditions on earth became harsher. The toilers in the field and meadow raised complaints. As a workmaster, the Anunnaki Lumak was appointed, the quotas to enforce, the rations to reduce. In his days, it was that the Adapa attained his death time. And when Adapa knew that his days were coming to an end, he said, "Let all my sons and sons of sons assemble themselves before me, that before I die I may bless them and speak words to them before I die." And when Seti and the sons of the gods had gathered, he asked, "Where is my firstborn? Where is Cain?" Adapa asked all of them, "Let him be fetched to them," he said. Before the Lord Enki Sati, his father's wish was presented. "What to be done of the Lord?" he asked. Enki then summoned Ninurta. Let the banished one, of whom the mentor you were, to Adapa's deathbed be brought. In his bird of heaven, which I believe is code for Klingon bird of prey. You guys ever get I mean, seriously, every time I read this Anunnaki stuff, all I could see is fucking Klingons and you know. I went out with this chick once that spoke Klingon. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Yeah. You just hadn't lived till a chick is screaming fucking your name in the height of ecstasy. Yeah. But that's neither here nor there. But, I mean, seriously, I mean, like, these guys are flying around these things called the bird of heaven. I mean, I just picture Klingons in my mind, you know, flying around the bird of prey, going around and sticking their dick in anything that's wet and, you know, propping themselves up as gods. Fucking Klingons are dirty motherfuckers, man. Tell you what, never trust a Klingon. In his bird of heaven, Ninurta betook himself, and to the land of the wandering he flew. Over the lands he roamed and searched from the skies for Cain. And when he found him, like on an eagle's wings, he brought Cain to Adapa. When of his son's arrival Adapa was informed, let Cain and Sati come before me, Adapa said. Before their father the two came, Cain in the firstborn on the right, Sati on the left. And the eyesight of Adapa having failed, he touched his sons' faces for recognition. Now listen to this. And the face of Cain on the right was beardless, and the face of Sati on the left was with a beard. Anybody have any guesses who they're talking about here? The guy on the right had a beard, the other one didn't have a beard. And Adapa put his right hand on the head of Sati, the one on the left, and he blessed him and said, of your seed earth shall be filled, and of your seed as a tree with 3 branches, mankind shall survive a great calamity. And he put his left hand on the head of Cain on his right and said to him, for your sin of your birthright you are deprived, but of your seed 7 nations shall come. Oh my goodness. In a realm set apart they shall thrive, distant lands they shall inhabit. But having your brother killed with a stone will be your end. And when Adapa finished these words, saying, his hands dropped, and he sighed and said, now summon my spouse Titi and all the sons and all the daughters. And after my spirit leaves me, let the river carry me to my birthplace. And with my face toward the rising sun, bury me there. Like a wounded beast, Titi cried out to her knees by Adapa's side, she fell. And the 2 sons of Adapa, Cain and Sati, in a cloth, they wrapped his body. In a cave by the banks of a river, by Titi shown, Adapa they buried. In the midst of the 93rd Shar he was born. By the end of the 180th he had died. A long life for an earthling he had. The life cycle of Enki he did not have. And after Adapa was buried, Cain bade farewell to his mother and brother. Ninurta in his bird of heaven returned him to the land of wandering. And in a distant realm, Cain had sons and daughters. And he built a city for them there. As he was building, he was killed by a falling stone. In the Eden, Lumak, as a workmaster, he served the Anunnaki. In the days of Lumak, did Marduk and the Yagigi intermarry with the earthlings. So that's the end of the 8th tablet. The next tablet we'll get into on the next broadcast will be the 9th tablet. I'd like to read the synopsis for you now. The synopsis of the 9th tablet: mankind proliferates. Adapa's line serves as royalty, meaning his Adapa's bloodline. That's where the bloodlines began was Adapa. Adapa was the first child born as a result of Enki's sex session with the human creation they had made. The first one was Adapa, and that's the beginning of the bloodlines. That's where the beginning of it took place. Keeping that pure back to that line has been what has given the elite what they believe is their divine right to rule. Defying Enlil, Marduk espouses an earthling female. Celestial disturbances and climate changes affect Mars. The Agigi descend to Earth and seize earthling females as wives. The promiscuous Enki begets a human son, Zusudra. Droughts and pestilences cause suffering on Earth. Enlil sees it as fated retribution and wants to return home. Ninmah, aged by Earth cycles, also wants to return. A mystery emissary warns them not to defy their destiny. Signs increase of a coming calamitous deluge. Most Anunnaki begin to depart back to Nibiru. I love that, yeah. They come down here and got the goal they needed to create humans, but fuck, as soon as the deluge comes, all right, fuck this, we're out of here. Let's get the fuck out of here. Enlil enforces a plan to let mankind perish. Enki and Ninmah start to preserve Earth's seeds of life. The remaining Anunnaki prepare for the day of the deluge. Nergal, Lord of the lower world, is to issue the warning. So, page 194. 194 is where we'll pick up next time on the broadcast. Page 194, if some of you guys can remember that for me in case I lose my place again, which I know I probably will. 194, and that's where we're leaving off. And we'll pick up at the beginning of Tablet 9 next time on the broadcast. Fascinating stuff there. So many correlations to biblical stuff. Just highly amazing stuff. And I think where we're getting now is getting into some of the more interesting stuff. And this polarity between, Enlil wanting mankind to be destroyed and Enki having compassion and being sentenced to reincarnate in these fragile human bodies over and over again. And that's what these, various messianic deities that we all know about. That's why you had, that's a koala on one end of the earth, Jesus on the other end of the earth, yet the stories are similar. So it continues to be interesting. But that's going to do it for our show tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and being with us. I enjoyed the show. Enjoyed being here with you tonight. Also want to mention my new mini documentary film is up on my website, theglobalreality.com. It's also on YouTube. If you have not seen that yet, please go watch that and spread that around. Vital information pertaining to the events of last weekend and how it was a massive blood sacrificial ritual, Roman sacrificial ritual by the priest class. And we also get into how Jonesy has tried to spin that and pin it on the Freemasons and all this stuff. Just unbelievable. But it's called Josh Reeves Special Report, Norway Massacre, Winehouse, Templar Cartel, All Roads Lead to Rome. That's up on my website, theglobalreality.com, and also on YouTube. Please go watch that, spread it around. And also, please support our work at theglobalreality.com, the donate button or the chip and band or whatever we have up there. Please support our work if you haven't. If you didn't make a donation this month, or you think that we already got what we needed, or you were going to donate, but you think somebody else already covered you, don't think that. We need as much support as we can get. Please donate at my website, theglobalreality.com. It keeps us commercial free and keeps us pushing forward and keeps our work continuing thanks to you. My name is Josh Reeves. I love each and every one of you, and we'll see you next time for the broadcast. You guys have a great night. Take care.